So what does it mean to be called? What does it mean to be called? First of all, let's look at the story in Genesis. Actually, it's very interesting. The Bible is a puzzle. And you have verses in the New Testament, Old Testament. You have to kind of put them together. And that's what we're going to do. Let's look at Acts 7:2. All right, Acts 7:2. Again, let's read it together out loud, but not just read it out loud, but let's really think about the verse while we read it. All right, Acts 7:2. And he said,
Men, brothers and fathers, listen. The God of glory appeared to our father Abraham while he was in Mesopotamia, before he dwelt in Haran.
All right, you might not know what this is, but this is a map. All right. Okay, this is Africa. This is that's the Sinai Peninsula, right? Okay, there's two rivers, in human culture. I believe the top one, I always get mixed up. One of them is the Euphrates and one is the Tigris. Is the Euphrates on top? I think the Euphrates. I could be wrong. Okay. But what this verse says is, the God of glory appeared to our father Abraham while he was in Mesopotamia. So this region in here is the region of Mesopotamia, right? And specifically, from other verses, actually the next verse, Joshua 24, in the middle of the verse, it says, Joshua said to all the people, "Thus says Jehovah, the God of Israel, your fathers dwelt across the river long ago," right? Referring to one of these rivers. I think it's the river Euphrates. I might have gotten these two mixed up. Yeah, it is, right? Okay, that's what I thought. Just testing you. All right, Terah, the father of Abraham and the father of Nahor, and they served other gods. There was a city called Ur, I believe it was right about here, where Abraham and his family lived. And it was there while Abraham was worshiping God, right? No, well, it says, while he was serving other gods. Very interesting. He was there, what was he doing? He wasn't doing really good stuff, right? He was serving other gods. Nevertheless, what happened while he was there in Mesopotamia, God, it says, the God of glory appeared.
Wow.
Appeared to him, right? So he wasn't really necessarily deserving this appearance of God, but God just did it. God appeared to him and then called him. Then, in Genesis 11, all right, it says, 11:31, you see the verse there? Terah, Abraham's father, took Abraham his son, and Lot the son of Haran, his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law. Okay, there's like a little party here. They went out together from Ur of the Chaldeans, that's the city here, to go to the land of Canaan. All right, the land of Canaan is the land over here. But when they came to Haran, they settled there. All right, Haran, I believe, is up here. So they took a journey. They came to Haran from Ur. God called him, land of Canaan, but he went to Haran. A good beginning, but didn't quite make it all the way. Then what happened in Genesis 12, 1-3? These are probably like the theme verses for this morning. So if you forget all the other verses, but you remember these, you get the main point. All right, Genesis 12, 1-3, and it says, "Now Jehovah said to Abram, go from your land and from your relatives and from your father's house to the land that I will show you, and I will make of you a great nation. And I will bless you and make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. And I will bless those who bless you, and he who curses you I will curse. And in you all the families of the earth will be blessed." So again, God appeared to Abraham here. He started his journey, didn't make it all the way, came to Haran. God appeared to him again, and God calls him again. There's the repeated calling. So there was then this time, 3 things are mentioned when God calls Abraham. 3 major items. What are the 3 major items? Okay, before we get to the three major items, there's a go from and there's a go to. God is calling him from certain things, and God is calling him to or into certain things. And likewise today, God's calling for us is calling us from certain things and calling us to or into certain things as Christians. So we want to see what these things are. What is the from? He says, go from your land, from your relatives, and from your father's house. I guess you could generalize this. What does this mean for us? What does this mean? You could generalize this. Our land is where we're comfortable, our father's house, right? Our family, relatives. The Lord may be calling us out of our culture, out of our background, our nationality. I mean, if you look at the room here, right? We're from a variety of backgrounds, and it's not the, I and Mario came from very different backgrounds, very different families, but the Lord's calling us,
Wow.
and He's calling us from those things, not just from those things, but He's calling us positively into three things, all right? And these three things. Can you get the three things from the verses? They're just right there. Okay, first of all, if you were God, and you knew that this was Abraham, a very, very important person, you were going to call him and you were going to tell him to do three things. All right, what would you told him to do? Maybe we would have told him to, number one, worship me. Number two, tell other people about me. Number three, start writing the Bible. There's a lot of things that, this is very significant, what God is speaking to Abraham, but it's very interesting. He tells him to do three things. Number one was go somewhere. Just go to this place called Canaan. Very important. Number two is, I will make of you a great nation. All right? A great nation. And number three is blessing. Very interesting. Land, a great nation, and blessing. You see those things in the verses, right?
Yeah.
So what does this mean for us? All right, let's, if you have a Bible, I didn't print these verses on the sheet. If you have a Bible, you can turn to 1 Corinthians 1:9.